Hello, everybody. Today I'm talking about the Gandanta transit of Ketu as Ketu moves back from Sagittarius to Scorpio. It is a very major transit. It happens once every 18 years. And only Ketu is going to go through Gandanta. Rahu is not going to go through Gandanta. Actually, Rahu Ketu change signs on 22nd of September. And what is the impact of this change? And this particular video is only about Ketu in Gandanta. Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking Ketu Gandanta. And please do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. This video is one of the many that is to do with Rahu Ketu changing signs. And so I'm doing the video of Ketu in Gandanta. Then I will do Rahu Ketu in Taurus Scorpio axis, how it affects you. Then I'm going to do Ketu's transit through Jyeshta Nakshatra and how it affects you. So number of videos are there, so you don't want to miss out. So do subscribe, press the bell notification. So let us talk about Ketu in Gandanta. Now, Gandanta itself is transition points where planets move from water to fire signs. And these are always very complicated energies. And although we are being told that moon is important when he crosses Gandanta, but all the other planets also, when they cross Gandanta, they create an instability. And the thing about Ketu transiting from Sagittarius to Scorpio Gandanta, this Sagittarius Scorpio Gandanta is very complicated, and it is one of the most difficult of the three Gandantas. There is a Gandanta between Cancer and Leo, Scorpio and Sagittarius, and Pisces and Aries. So the Scorpio Sagittarius Gandanta is the most difficult Gandanta of the three. And one of the reasons that it is Gandanta as well is that it is going, when planets are moving from Scorpio to Sagittarius, it is moving from a Tamasic sign to a Satwic sign. So Tamas is about darkness. It's about fixed things that we are stuck with, and we are getting involved, suddenly coming into Satwic. Those old ideas, old barriers have to be broken down. So this, the soul feels a lot of struggle as it goes through this Scorpio Sagittarius Gandanta. But what is happening with the Ketu is, firstly, let me give you the dates of this, and I will then explain a little bit further. Ketu calculations, there are two calculations for Rahu Ketu. I spoke about this in my Rahu section when I talked about Rahu. There is a true node calculation and a mean node calculation. In the mean node, Rahu Ketu just move backwards, and there is no stopping. Rahu never moves forward, Rahu Ketu, but they stop at a particular point and they stay there. Now, traditionally, mean node was used in India, but now many astrologers use true node as well. I have always followed the tradition and used the mean node. So my dates are all connected to the mean node, but I will give you both the dates. So firstly, let us look at the mean node dates. Rahu and Ketu change signs. Rahu moves into Taurus, Ketu moves into Scorpio on 22nd of September, if you're looking at the mean node position. And these are astronomical calculations, both calculations you can be conscious of. And if we take the true node calculation, it is on 19th of September. Just to remind you that all the timings are for California. So Pacific Standard Time, all the calculations are for that. So this year there is a difference of about 4 days, 3 days, 19th or 22nd. So I'm looking at the mean node calculation. So 22nd of September it changes. But Ketu will move into Gandanta position on 7th of September when we are calculating the mean node, and stay there for 1 month. From 7th of September to 22nd of September, Ketu will be in Sagittarius part of the transit. And then from 22nd September, it goes into Scorpio part of the transit. So that is the mean node situation. That's what I'm going to be talking about. But those of you who want the true node position, this is about a 3-day difference. So it is 4th of September to 4th of October. So let's get back to this whole concept of the Gandanta and Ketu's transit over Gandanta. You see, other planets, when they are transiting over Gandanta, they will go forward. Mostly, sometimes they will retrograde back over that point as well. But usually they will go forward, and they will move from Tamas to Sattva. But Ketu is doing the opposite. He's going to move from Sattva to Tamas. So he's moving from the pure Sagittarius sign to a very complex Scorpio sign. All the major planets have crossed this point. Saturn crossed that point. Jupiter went through Scorpio to Sagittarius. And now Ketu is coming. So the 3 slower moving planets are doing this. So what Ketu is doing is quite remarkable, because it is going to come from the pure Satwic energy of Sagittarius and move into the Tamasic energy. And this is one of the problems with Rahu Ketu anyway, that when they come into any sign, they come in at 30 degrees of the sign. So they come into the deep end of the issue. They don't know everything. So they are suddenly going into the deep end of Scorpio and trying to make sense of it. So whereas any other planet, by the time it reaches the end of Scorpio, it is quite mature. It has learned the lessons of Scorpio and moves into Sagittarius, where there's a freshness of approach. Whereas in Ketu's point of view, the Ketu will come to the end of Sagittarius, and it will learn about Sagittarius. By the end of it, then it is in Gandanta from 7th of September and will remain in Gandanta to 7th of October. So this is not so much personal impact, because all of us will feel some unsettled energy, but it has more global impact. That is why I'm not going to look at how it affects you individually, because it has a more global impact to everybody. So the world will be going through some difficult energy. We have been going through quite a lot of difficult energy already, but Ketu, firstly, moving away from Sagittarius, is no longer affecting Jupiter. So Jupiter can get on with his job of healing everybody, doing some good work. And he is going to be the last major planet for some time who's going to go through this Gandanta. So he's going to release some negativity, some toxins, but he can also resolve some issues as well, because, we need those things to get out there so that we understand what the situation is. So this time between September to October, there are various Gandantas. I already spoke about Gandanta. Sun has been through Mercury as well as Mars. They've gone through the other Gandantas. So at this time, we have to be very conscious that we are going through this unstable, unsettled time all through September to early October, to take care of ourselves and to keep in balance and to keep in harmony. Then also you see that Ketu is coming through Mula Nakshatra going into Jyeshta Nakshatra. So Mula Nakshatra is the Devata for Mula is Niriti, who is a very fierce goddess. So there's a lot of fierceness around here. And the other side, the Devata is Indra. The deity Indra is the god of gods, and he's trying to kill the demon, trying to kill the negativity. So therefore, but Jyeshta Devi herself, the name of this Jyeshta Nakshatra, Jyeshta Devi, she is been shown as the sister of Saturn, and she is also very much for truth and purity. You see, Niriti also punishes those who are looking purely for a material life, and are looking for profit and in front of dharma, in front of good action, or they're looking for selfishness instead of unselfishness. So we have to think very much about the Niriti's role of this very fierce goddess. She's sometimes also related to goddess Kali, and goddess Kali is most loving goddess, but she is wants you to detach. So this Ketu message for like the world is also to detach, to be more unselfish, to show restraint. And then when it goes into Jyeshta, of course, one good point about Jyeshta is that Ketu is exalted. So Ketu's role going through Gandanta also may not be as negative as we think, because it is in its exalted nakshatra sign. And then Jyeshta means the elder, the important person, and also Jyeshta Devi, who is especially important for politicians or people who are in jobs where power is involved. That Ketu will come and make you think, be more humble, to be more dealing with spiritual things, as I said, as instead of material things. Unselfishness, I would say that is the most important thing. So as we are moving towards this Gandanta time, all of us should think about some things that we need to let go, because Ketu usually represents past life and the past that is already dead and gone. So like yesterday has gone, we can't bring it back. And same way, if we think about past lives, this life or other lifetimes, then those things have gone and moved on. So during this Ketu Gandanta transit, you can think about how are you going to clear your life out of some baggage that you have. And not all the baggage needs to be cleared. You need to trim your tree of life. So certain things you may think now they're no longer important. And I would say that it's important time to contemplate as well. I'm going to make another video about Adhika Masa. Adhika Masa is an extra lunar month, which is also happening in September. And the message of the extra lunar month is also contemplation. So while this Ketu is going through the Gandanta, we are being more spiritual. We are thinking more about how we can be unselfish, what are the things in our life that are no longer relevant for us, and we clear some of the baggage. Sometimes, just simple doing a little house clearance, little bit, don't throw everything out, but doing a little house clearance may be good during this time. And also, because Ketu's Devata is Lord Ganesha, you may like to contemplate on him, and you can chant his mantra, you can do some meditation on him. So this is unsettled, and September itself, a lot of things are happening and very confusing, because Ketu is headless, it can make you very confused. So what are you going to do about it is that you're not going to make any important decision around September. You just allow the time to go, just flow with the energy, if something is coming at you, then you react. Otherwise, you just stay calm and collected. So very important that this transit happens. Last time Ketu went over Gandanta was in 2002. So it's 18 years away. So they cleared some energy at that time as well. Remember, Ketu is a fire element planet. So he's very fiery. He protests. He's angry in his negative form. In his spiritual form, he is moksha karaka. He's the giver of self-realization. He's jnana karaka. He's a giver of knowledge. So we are aspiring to his higher self. But Ketu is going from a fire sign where he's aggravating. So Ketu's fire is not a straightforward fire, that it's an aggravated fire. So when he goes into Scorpio, he's going to calm down a bit, because Scorpio's energy is more water energy. Scorpio is complicated, but Ketu loves being in Scorpio. So I feel that as Ketu moves into Scorpio, then you will see some positivity as well for Ketu's transit in Scorpio. So the next set of this video will be about Rahu Ketu changing signs, and then also Ketu in Jyeshta Nakshatra. And as I told you, I'm going to make a special video on Adhika Masa, the extra lunar month that we are all going to experience. So in that meantime, I want you to just meditate, to be calm, and to contemplate on what has gone for the last 18 years of your life, what is no longer relevant. Let us let go of it. And I find usually in the Gandanta, the pre-Gandanta, that means from 7th of September right up to 22nd of September, that is more complex. Once the planet moves on to the next sign, you see a release of energy as well. So let us all do a short chant for Lord Ganesha and contemplate on him. At present also we have Lord Ganesha festival going on, so we can think about him a little bit more as well. So Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om